Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Radio Works World, and to Gill Barham, the Miracle Molecule host, and to my Lighthearted Conversations. And today, my special guest is the author of the book From Rock Bottom to Success, of Robert J. Moore, all the way from Canada. Hello.
How are you?
Well, I think it's about, I don't know, 9:30 your time, is it?
I don't even know. Let me just see. Yeah, 9:32. Good timing.
Oh, that was a good guess, wasn't it? So,
32 out there.
So, Robert, we're just going to start with you telling us just very briefly who you are and what you do. I've told them a little bit, but just give us a little tiny snippet about who you are, what you're passionate about.
Well, I'm Robert J. Moore. I'm someone that went through a bit of a tragedy in the past. Going through the tragedy taught me now I could be a better person. I could teach other people to be a better person and help them through the terrors of their life. So I went through an awful lot. To get that book in your hand, do you want me to express a bit? Do you want me to express a bit?
No, we're not here to talk about the book. I want them to buy your book and read your book. But we're going to give them...
That's all about me, right? So
it is. We're going to give them a flavor of you so that they go out and buy that. Okay, so now you've created a business and a project around your life and your experiences, I know. But today what we're here to do is talk about the man behind the book, behind the business, behind your current role, your business, your entrepreneurship, whatever it might be. So I've got some questions for you.
Sure.
And just to tell everybody, Robert hasn't seen these questions. He has no clue what I'm going to ask him. He doesn't look scared at all, does he? No. Okay, so Robert, imagine this. I'm going to give you a scenario. Okay, so you're in a lift in a very posh hotel. You're going up to the 9th floor. The lift opens at floor number 2 and in walks somebody, just one person. And when it gets between floors 7 and 8, the lift breaks down. So you are stuck in this lift with one person, and you hear on the intercom that you're going to be stuck in that lift for a couple of hours. But it's okay because it's one of those glass lifts, so it means that it's open to the world, so you're not going to get claustrophobic, just in case that's you.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, who would you like to be stuck in that lift with for 2 hours? Dead or alive, somebody from history or somebody that's around now. Who would you love to grill for 2 hours in that lift?
You know what? I would have to say something on the line of maybe Tony Robbins. You know, Tony Robbins. I've studied his stuff. Even Mel Robbins. She's a very well productive person. Someone that deals with emotions. Someone that I can learn from. You know, at that point in time, I would rather learn instead of teach, because I do teaching all day long, right? I teach everybody, and even walking down the street, you teach people the way you act, the way you talk, the way you dress, right? So it's a matter of absorbing more information. So, yeah.
I think I'd probably be looking through the grills and listening to the answers that you asked Tony Robbins. I think probably a lot of us entrepreneurs, heart-centered business owners, anybody that's done any personal development, I think we're there right with you, Robert, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I love the people that are bettering themselves, not just their business, that they're helping other people with their behaviors and their outcomes. It is, to me, that it just shows power. You know, that they could do this stuff. Me being a psychotherapist for many, many years now, for 10 years, helping people out with addictions, mental health, I like to get people to focus on the core of the issue, the behavior behind it. So when you're talking to other people and you're sitting there here, oh, wow, hey, you know, I even did that when I came out and saw you guys. I had 2, 3 people out there and I talked to, and they, boom, just changed them in seconds. And I didn't even know I was doing it.
No. But would you agree with me? What I've learned through my journey is that actually all of that work needs to be done on you first. So the growth that you put, the resources that you put into yourself, and the money you spend on yourself, and the time and the effort. And I know from your book that you do an awful lot of personal development.
I do.
Is that's what pays off, because until you have a good sense of you can't really help other people. Would you agree?
I agree. the reason why I went through all the schooling that I did was to figure out why I was the person I was. I didn't go to do it to belittle anybody or say, look, I got master's in counseling and psychology, or I got my BA in psychology, or I got my social work, or I got my addictions. I didn't do that to say, look, I'm better than you. I did that because I wanted to show people that, look, I'm working on me. I need to learn me so I can help the other person in front of me.
It's very powerful. Okay, so in this lift with Mr. Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
you have a table and it's covered with a white tablecloth and it's got the finest china and silverware and glassware. And like Harry Potter, I don't know if you've ever seen Harry Potter, I'm going to magic you up a fabulous meal for you and Tony to eat. So what would be your meal that you would share with Tony Robbins?
I'm going to tell you right now, steak and potatoes. No, you're not getting away from that. I like steak.
And what sort of potatoes do you mean by potatoes?
Okay, then yams. What do they call yams? Yellow potatoes, yams.
Okay. And are they fried or boiled? What happens to your potatoes in Canada? How are they prepared in Canada?
Well, you can fry them, you can boil them, you can French fries.
Okay.
You can do anything with them.
Yeah.
I like them broiled with some sour cream on them.
Do you think Mr. Robbins will enjoy that meal?
To me, it don't matter at that point as long as he can give me his.
He's going to have what you give him. Okay, brilliant. Okay.
The goal so much, he doesn't really matter, right?
So are you a savory boy? Would you have a dessert as well?
I'm not really into the sweets. So,
okay.
Yeah, I'm not really into it. I mean, I have in the past, don't get me wrong, I'm a big boy. But I mean, but when it comes to a favorite, nah. I like the meal itself because the meal comes with the conversation.
Yeah.
You know. So.
All right. So I'd like to take you back now. And I'd like you to tell us a little bit, just a little bit, because I know there's so much to tell, but a little bit about the 18-year-old Robert. What was the 18-year-old Robert doing? Where were you? Who were you with?
That's a question on its own.
It
18 years old, I spent the time in Barry Bucket. It's a jail. It was my first appearance in jail in Malcott.
Just say the name again, sorry, because the sound went a little bit.
Barry Bucket. They called it Barry Bucket in Barrie, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, okay.
I was. It was one of my first experience being held by the Queen.
Right. Okay. And
it just seems like I was on the wrong track back then. I had the dysfunctional thoughts.
Yes. And that was because were you at that point into alcohol at that point and stealing and so on?
Alcohol at that time, and as a matter of fact, my Kamala wife at the time was actually pregnant with the first child. I wanted to get myself straightened out, so I put myself in jail to get that over with. But I was drinking way too much when I got back out. I celebrated everybody's birthday it could have been someone I never knew. Oh, you got a birthday? I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
You know, I was an alcoholic.
Yeah. And I know that, you know, there were a lot of years that were very difficult for you, but I'd like you to tell us now about the 35-year-old Robert.
The 35-year-old Robert. Actually, I was 3 years clean sober at the time. I was starting my education. I was actually in college at the time, doing my social service worker diploma at Georgian College in Array, Ontario.
And was there a moment, well, what was the moment, I should say, that went from the Robert that was in jail, abusing and using, to the Robert that went, okay, enough now, 3 years before that? What was that point?
What happened was I was in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. I was sitting in the bush with a case of beer, rolled up cigarette that I found from cigarette butts. And I had an epiphany, you know, nobody wanted me around. My emotions were dysfunction. I couldn't think of anything that would make me happy. I was sad all the time, depressed. When I had that epiphany, I got rid of the case of beer, I got rid of the cigarette, and I put myself into a detox. It's a transformation place where they help you get over the alcohol for the first 72 hours. And then I went into a treatment center from there. And then I learned that, you know, there is a better way.
And in your experience, I know now that you do a lot of work with people with addictions and emotional problems. In your experience, that epiphany that you describe, is that very common?
you have to hit your own emotional bottom. Everybody has their own emotional bottom. It could be as low as mine was, because I was 16 years in out of jail and 7 years living on the streets at this point in time. And I couldn't deal with it no more. I had enough. It was either I didn't want to die, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to live, but how do I live without living with all this guilt, shame, and resentment? So I had to go as low as I had to go and experience it. But some people don't experience the lows I have. They get their own lows. They could be rich, wealthy people and still be in a depression state of mind. They could be, maybe they're just financially hurt and they decide to go on to the alcohol or the drugs because they don't know how to deal with the financial stress. You know, it's unidentified emotions that carry on.
And when you were 35 then, were you reunited with your children at this point? How many children did you have? Is it 3 by then?
Yeah, I have 3 children, yeah. I met my daughter I talk to online on Facebook all the time. I've only seen her twice in my life though. My son I see all the time, and my middleman, the one that died, the one that my wife died giving birth to, died giving birth, right? So he's doing really, really well. He talks to me when I go down there and see him. My youngest I only met up with just 2 years ago at Christmas time for the first time. So that was really quite something.
And I know you spend some time with your niece as well, don't you?
Every Sunday I spend the weekend, the day with her, every Sunday.
Yeah. And she makes you smile, Kat. I can see that on your face.
I gotta take the day off of work, right? I work so many hours, and you got to take the day off, right? So
yeah, you do. We all have to have a day off. Okay, so let's get into some quick reactions from your heart. So I'm going to ask you quick fire questions. Sure. So the answers I want you to come from your heart. Okay. So, fiction or non-fiction?
Non-fiction.
Radio or TV?
Radio.
Best habit?
I couldn't hear that one.
Best habit?
Empowerment.
Worst habit?
Swearing.
Do you have any nicknames?
I've had a few people call me a few names over the years. I've stuck with them, but never stuck with me.
Okay, is there something, a nice pet name that somebody calls you by? Or do they call you Uncle Robert or what?
There's a couple call me Uncle Robert, but here comes the author, best-selling author or international, but not, you know.
That's a nice nickname to have.
Definitely not.
Okay, and Robert, you might not know this, but I'm a singer.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Oh, you knew that.
You
and
know that's a book, right?
Huh?
You know I have your book, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that. It's a great book, isn't it? Yeah, it's what book?
That's why when I was sitting there thinking you're talking about From the Heart, I'm thinking, okay, I know her book now too. I'm trying to think, remember what was written in that.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big clue, wasn't it? Okay, so wait. Oh yeah, so singing. Now I'm up on stage, and I'm going to get you up on stage to sing your favorite karaoke song. What would it be?
Well, first thing first, you can get me up on the stage to sing, but I'm not a very good singer, so you might not have people there.
I don't care. I just want to know what your karaoke song would be.
I don't really have a favorite song, to be honest with you. I just kind of go with what moves me. If something playing that moves me, I just go with it.
Okay.
So I don't really have a favorite.
Okay. So what I am interested then is, you like music though, right?
Oh yeah, I find it very soothing.
Okay, so if you wanted to have a piece of music that made you feel very light-hearted, because we are having a light-hearted conversation after all. So what would take you to that light-hearted place rather than a soothing place or a an emotional place? What would you choose to get you kind of I'm happy?
It would have to be something more mellow. It can't be hard rock. Can't be something on them terms, because the hard rock they not only move your flow of the heart, they move your thoughts too. All music moves your thoughts. So if you're putting something heavy on, you're thinking of a lot of powerful different things you don't want to be thinking of to relax. To relax, you want something more soothing.
Yeah, like what?
I can't even picture what songs. I mean, I just Like half of the songs I listen to, I don't know who sings them. I was, for instance, on the way down where I am today, because I drove down 2 hours south where I live. Like I'm not even at home right now. I put the song on, and it was actually all in French, and I really enjoyed it until I learned, well, wait a minute, this is French. The song's over.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it, that in my experience, some people are very tuned into the music of a song, and other people listen to the lyrics. And even though I'm a singer, I very rarely listen to the lyrics of a song.
Yeah.
Unless I've heard it time and time again. But my daughter and my husband will listen to a song, and they're listening to the lyrics straight in.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the music.
I'm not really. It's the music itself, the way it sounds, the way it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so next question. This is another nice scenario for you. I'm going to send you off on holiday, and it's a month. Okay. And you're going to go to wherever you want. I don't care where you go, but you're going to get all your flights organized, all your hotels are organized. In other words, it's stress-free. So who is the person that you would take on that month's holiday that you could spend a month with without a crossword?
Without crossword, so it's got to be all happiness.
With no conflict.
I have a person in mind, but I can't say their name on the radio.
Okay. Well, I'm quite happy with that, but because it made you smile, I'm just going to go with that one.
There you go.
There we go. Okay. Now, I have a very important question for you, because as you know, I'm the Miracle Molecule host. And my big passion is looking after people, and particularly addressing the global health crisis that we have in the Western world, which is heart disease. So you know, my book is The Heart of a Woman, How to Look After the Heart You Give to the World. So men can read it too, and indeed you have read it. So
hey, I read it.
Yeah, there you go, you read it. So I'm interested to know, is there anything that you do to look after your heart? Now, I'm guessing that you are very good at looking after your emotional heart, and you can tell us what steps you do to do that. But I'm also interested in whether or not there's anything you do to look after this physical heart in here.
Well, I'm not going to say I actually eat the best, because I'm always on the run doing something. So a lot of greasy burgers don't help. But when that's a whole different cleansing. When I'm looking at myself, I'm feeling passionate about other people smiling. Some people I deal with never smile truthfully deep inside for the first time in years. So I get them to do that first time when they're with me over a period of time of building that rapport. So when we build that rapport and they actually have that smile on it, it's genuine, that fills my heart. That makes my heart feel comfortable.
I can see that. So I have a little bit of a challenge for you, in that in order for you to keep doing that, my suggestion is that you find a way to look after your own heart, because you're no good to anybody if you're not here.
Right? It's like being on an airplane. They say it's like being on an airplane. If the mask dropped and you only got one mask for you and your daughter, who you're going to choose first? If you choose the daughter, then who am I going to be there to save her? I can't be there to save her.
Exactly. That's entirely my message to you. I hope you don't mind me saying that. Okay, so thank you very much. Now, I just really want you to tell us a little bit about what's coming up for you that you're really excited about.
I'm actually restructuring a whole program right now. I'm putting all the content together. It's called The Better Way. It's about people. It's about here's my mission statement basically. I intend to power others to control all their emotions, so that it can help them identify and ultimately manifest more happiness throughout their days that they're in their life, identifying and balancing their emotions. So when people are balancing their emotions, they're not doing misdirect anger. They're not actually flying off the handle at the wrong times. They're actually adjusting to what's going on with them and manifesting more and more happiness. A lot of people don't know how to identify them. I ask certain people I'll sit with, tell me 5 different emotions. They'll tell me the actions with it, not the emotion. So not a lot of people can identify them.
So what's your new program called?
The Better Way.
The Better Way.
Yeah.
And finally, where can we find out about that? Where can we find out about you? Where should people go to buy your book?
Well, I'm in 25,000 different distribution centers online. If people do from Rock Bottom to Success, and they go Robert J. Moore, I'm sure it's going to come up. There it is. Or out there, there's I got like 75 of them out there. 75.
You have in the UK, yes.
Yes,
yes, you have in the UK. And in terms of your program, how can we access that? If somebody's looking for your help, have you got a web page or? I'm
going to be putting a web page together. It's not fully done yet. It's getting close to being launched. So it's going to be learnthebetterway.com.
Okay.
Right, learnthebetterway.com. I am going to be sending out emails to certain people. If people feel like they want to give me an email address, they want to learn more, I would be more willing to take their email address and put them in and let them know when I'm publishing it.
Great. And this is years and years of your experience poured into this one.
That's right.
To this one project.
11 years, over 11 years clean and sober right now. So I've learned to identify all the emotions. That's why in my book, it doesn't just talk about the negative and the positive stuff I do, but it talks about the emotions I went through to get there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people understand drugs and alcohol and the way it affects the body and the way it affects the person. Not a lot of people understand that. So what I did was I made sure I put the emotions in there so people could understand the emotions. Everybody has an emotion. They understand the emotion. They understand how they feel. I've had people that have never used drugs and alcohol cry through the book because they can relate to a certain thing. And then they come to me and say, look, we want to work with you. Beautiful.
Well, I think one of the things that is clear to me in my field as a nutritional therapist is that actually what I see are people that are addicted to sugar. And they say that actually sugar is more addictive than cocaine. There's an experiment done with mice or rats, and they took away the sugar and the cocaine because they were addicted. And when they put the sugar and the cocaine back, the rats went for the sugar rather than the cocaine because it has such a strong addictive nature to it. So it's quite interesting. It doesn't really matter what your poison is, does it? It's the same thing.
Some people could be the internet. Some people could be reading books. It could be, you know, it's something that gets you at escapes, right?
Yeah.
So, it just allows you to, like Sigmund Freud, subconscious mind. You just suppress your emotions when you're not dealing with them. And what happens later on is you either blow up or you mishandle how to deal with them.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Robert. Well, I've really enjoyed speaking to you. Have you enjoyed your light-hearted conversation?
Oh yeah. I always enjoy talking to you guys.
Good. And I hope to see you back in the UK soon.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice, yes.
Maybe we could have a white tablecloth and steak and potatoes together.
There you go. But Tony,
I'm not quite Tony Robbins, though.
That's okay. You're still a beautiful person.
Okay, so thank you very much for sharing a little bit of the Robert J. Moore behind the brand, and I hope everybody's enjoyed our light-hearted conversations, and I'll see you real soon.
Thank you.
Cheerio.